It's Labor Day weekend in the city of Roses, Portland, Oregon, and that means the sound of racing engines thundering through Delta Park, site of one of America's great road courses, Portland International Raceway, just south of the mighty Columbia River. The demanding 12-turn layout plays host to a variety of racing series throughout the year, and today it's the second visit for the ARCA Menards Series West. It's the Portland 112 coming up next, live right here on Flow Racing. Hi there, everybody. My name is Charlie Krall, and I'll have all the action for you here today as we get set for round 8 of the 2022 ARCA Menards Series West season. It's the final road course race of the year. The first two times we've gone left and right this season, it was all Jake Drew as he won earlier this season here at Portland and just down the coast at Sonoma Raceway in Northern California. Jake comes into today with a 43-point lead on his teammate Tanner Reif with just 4 races remaining. Two Sunrise Racing teammates have been the dominant force this season, combining to win 5 of the 7 races that have been run so far here in 2022. Let's take a look at today's race analysis for the Portland 112. We're going to go 57 laps today, which is 112 miles around the 1.967 mile 12-turn road course. There are 8 right-handers, 4 left-handers, including the tight festival chicane on the front stretch. We'll pass through that chicane on starts and restarts, going all the way down that long front straightaway into turn 4. We're going to take a 5-minute break at lap 28. That'll allow teams to make adjustments and add fuel. No tires can be changed today unless approved by ARCA officials or unless we need to switch from dry tires to wets. As you can see, folks, by the weather, that's not going to be a problem here today. This is the 7th West race run here at Portland International, with the legendary Herschel McGriff winning the first one here back in 1986. Other winners include Patrick Long in 2010, Luis Martinez Jr. in 2011, Greg Persley in 2012, Taylor Gray in 2021, and Jake Drew back here in June. Let's take a quick look at our Bounty Rookie Spotlight driver today, Sean Hingorani out of Newport Beach, California, in the number 04 Nascimento Motorsports Toyota. Sean was running really well up into the top 10 last time out in his series debut at Evergreen Raceway, but a little nudge from Landon Lewis sent him into the outside wall and left him with a heavily damaged race car. Sean has a great starting position here this afternoon. We'll keep a close eye on that number 04 Toyota as he looks to score not only his first top 10 finish in just his second series start, but his first top 5 finish as well. Field making their first of 2 preliminary laps, going to make a pass down pit road here. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at today's General Tire Pole Award winner. And guess what, folks? We've already talked about him. It's the same guy that started on the pole here back in June. Jake Drew timed in at 1 minute 16.583 seconds, nearly 3/4 of a second quicker than Todd Souza to lock down his 3rd General Tire Pole Award of 2022. Jake also won the pole at Sonoma in June and the 2nd race of the season at Irwindale back in July. Other General Tire Pole Award winners this year include Sammy Smith at Phoenix, Tanner Reif at Irwindale in March, and again last time out at Evergreen. PJ Pedroncelli started P1 at Kern County, and Daniel Dye was the pole winner here at Portland back in June. There's that tricky section we were talking about, the festival chicanes. We're going to bypass that on the initial start and all the restarts here today, but that is going to be a crucial part of this racetrack as we make our way through 112 miles of action. Why don't we take a look at the rest of our General Tire Deliver starting lineup. Starting alongside Jake Drew on that front row will be veteran Todd Souza, as we mentioned, in that number 13. Todd is a former road course winner, and he could be a strong contender to win here this afternoon. Cole Moore will start 3rd. With some rumors they made some unapproved adjustments to that car. They decided not to make those changes. He will indeed roll off from the 3rd position. He will start alongside his teammate Landon Lewis, winner earlier this season at Kern County Raceway Park. We talked about Sean Hingorani. He's going to go from the 5th position alongside Joey East in row 3. 2-time 2022 winner Tanner Reif will go from 7th alongside Ryan Philpott. Takuma Koga will go inside the 5th row alongside Bridget Burgess. Davey Magris, Vince Little, and Andrew Tuttle slated to round out our 13-car starting lineup. Understand Andrew had some engine issues in qualifying earlier today. He's not able to make the call. And Bridget Burgess did have to make some unapproved adjustments, so she will drop from that 10th position back just 1 row to the tail of the field for the initial start. Field making its way down the back stretch, kind of a long bow-shaped back stretch. Making their way down into turns 9, 10, 11, and 12. Excuse me, this is turn 10 right here. Coming into turn 10, 11, and 12 coming up next. Good look at Jake Drew on the front row. Todd Souza alongside. Todd has gone a long time between victories. He picked up his career first at Utah Motorsports Campus back in 2008. Looking for another road course win here today. Can he take it to Jake Drew? We are about to find out. Chuck Welch has the pace car safely down onto pit road. And we are approaching Joe Contreras' green flag to get us underway for 57 laps of action here at Portland International Raceway. Slowly creeping toward that green flag. It's out. It is time to rock, roll, and rumble here in Portland. We're going to blaze right through the chicane right here. And look at this strong move by Colmore to the inside. Todd Souza to the outside. They're going to sandwich Jake Drew down into turn 4. Todd Souza with the great jump on the start. He's going to take the lead. Jake Drew going to work his way past Cole Moore to retake that second position as they work their way through the twisty turns 5, 6, and 7. Cole Moore really putting some pressure on Jake Drew through turn 7 right there. Here's turn 8. Now through turn 9, down the backstretch. Field winding up to full song for the first time. Turns 10, 11, and 12. Very technical part of this racetrack. You gotta get off of turn 12 right there. You gotta get off of turn 12 to get that power down. And that's exactly what Todd Souza did, as he will lead across the stripe to complete lap 1. And we're gonna slam on the brakes to get down into that chicane. First time through the chicane today, cleanly for Todd Souza, Jake Drew. The two Bill McAnally Racing teammates, Cole Moore and Landon Lewis, going after it. And here comes Jake Drew going after Todd Souza for the lead. Souza into turn 4, turn 4A. Now into turn 5. He's going to slam the door shut on Jake Drew, holding on to that lead into turn 6 and 7. Todd Souza set a landmark 100th career start earlier in the season. Now he's looking to get back into victory lane, and he's got a great start as he continues to feel some pressure from Jake Drew down the backstretch. Drew, a previous winner here earlier in the season. Lots of road course experience for this young man. He's a go-kart racer. Picked up a win earlier this season here. His first career win actually was here earlier in the season. Backed it up with another road course win at Sonoma Raceway, and he's trying to duck to the inside of Souza one more time down into turn 1. Not going to make it happen. Look at that camera angle, folks. Right up close and personal with those race cars down into turn 1. Things starting to settle down just a touch up at the front of the field. Jake Drew still less than a car length off that back bumper. Todd Souza feeling the heat right now, but keeping the number 13 in the breeze. He's going to really wind it up off of that corner right there. That hard right-hander into turn 7. Kind of setting you up for turn 8. And here comes Jake Drew. Jake got through turn 7 really well, and he's going to blast down to the inside, down the backstretch, and take over the lead from Todd Souza. Just started to think just a little that it was going to settle down up at the front of the field. Jake Drew decided otherwise. He's going to work off at turn 12 with the advantage, and now look at him start to stretch it out over Todd Souza and Cole Moore. or trying to look just so slightly to the inside of Souza down into turns 1, 2, and 3. Folks, if you remember the race here back in June, first time ever the West Series ran in the wet. A bit of a disaster for Jake Drew, particularly on the start. Started P1, slid off the racetrack, had to work his way from the tail a couple of times, but did end up scoring that first victory. As we see Cole Moore facing some pressure from Landon Lewis. Battle for third. Jake Drew starting to stretch out that advantage just a little bit. Starting to walk the dog on the field there as Todd Souza facing some pressure. Let's take a look at that pass for the lead. Todd Souza got way wide coming off of turn 6. Jake Drew nailed turn 7 right there. Got the power down and literally just blasted to the inside of Souza through turn 8. This, folks, right here could be our Reese's Sweet Move of the race candidate. Right there. Look at him hanging those right side tires over the rumble strips. Not on the rumble strips, over the rumble strips. Impressive move there by Jake Drew. And again, that could be a strong candidate for today's Reese's Sweet Move of the race. Don't forget, folks, you can log on to ARCA's Twitter page at ARCA_racing. Cast your vote for your favorite move. Our Reese's Sweet Move of the race here for the Portland 112. Landon Lewis has worked his way past Cole Moore to take over that third position. See if Landon can get up there. Battle with Todd Souza. Let's take a look at that pass. Landon Lewis working his way past Cole Moore to take over that third position. Keep an eye on that Napa, number 16, down to the inside. Gonna outbreak his teammate down into that chicane. Landon getting up over those rumble strips. Cole using every inch of the racetrack. Landon getting the power down on the outside as we got, oh boy, Sean Hingarani, our bounty rookie spotlight driver, off the racetrack and into the tire barrier there in turn 11. Almost made it to turn 12. Looks like he's got the car refired, but that does put us under the caution flag for the first time here this afternoon. Not going to be able to back it out. Hopefully not a lot of damage to that machine. Still got plenty of time. Potentially work his way back up from the tail end of the field here, but not the way Sean Hingarani wanted to start his day. Let's see if we can take a look at what happened. There's Sean. Oh, just getting it off the racetrack. Dipping those left side tires off a little bit. Oh, got a little loose right there in the center of the corner. Thankfully, those tire barriers, folks, help bring that car to a pretty good stop. But as you can see, a little bit of damage to the nose on that number 04 Toyota. Eric Nascimento owned number 04. Thought he might have just dipped those tires off the left side of the racetrack there, but indeed he got a little loose coming through the center of the corner there and slid off the racetrack. See a big clump of grass coming out from underneath the car right there. They tell Sean to head back out onto the racetrack. We talked about it at the top of the show, folks. Sean was having a terrific performance up at Evergreen a couple of weeks ago, and he and Landon Lewis got to racing pretty hard there in the mid stages of the race, and Landon just didn't cut him a break, and Sean was lacking about 2 inches from being clear, and unfortunately that contact sent him up into the outside wall and did not a lot of damage to the nose of his race car. But guessing Sean was hoping to come out of here and have a real good shot at knocking down that first career top 10. Still has a chance at it, believe it or not. We'll see what happens here today. But Unfortunately, Sean Hingarani putting us under the caution flag for the first time here at the Portland 112. Working our 7th lap of the afternoon. It's a good look at our leader, Jake Drew, and there's Todd Souza in the 13. Joey East in the 54. There's Tanner Reif in the number 9 car, the team car. Out of the Sunrise Racing stables. It has been an incredible year for that organization. 2 wins for Tanner Reif, three wins for Jake Drew, and Jake has a 43-point lead over Tanner coming into the race here this afternoon with just 4 races, counting today, just 4 races remaining in the season. Tanner's had a couple of really impressive runs, led every lap in round number 2 of the season at Irwindale Speedway back in March. Started P1 up at Evergreen, but really had to fight for it up there. It spent the first 100 laps trying to work his way back up into the lead, but once he got there, he was pretty tough to beat. Picking up his 2nd career victory up on the big 5/8 mile. The 1,000th ARCA Menards Series West race ever run. How about that for a milestone achievement? This is race 1001. Race to 2000 starts here this afternoon, I suppose, as we continue to circulate behind Chuck Welch in the pace car. Good looking crowd on hand here. Yeah, good looking crowd on hand here. Beautiful day here in Portland. Not a cloud in the sky. Everybody wearing shorts and a t-shirt. You know, when we were here back in June, we saw the shots of the folks on the golf course right next door playing golf in the wet. I'm thinking all the folks over here watching race cars here this afternoon rather than out there playing golf, and a good group of campers here with us this weekend as well. Big weekend for the ARCA Menards Series platform. We'll be racing at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds, the 2nd of the 1-mile dirt ovals on the ARCA Menards Series schedule. Of course, former West champion Jesse Love going for that Performance Seed Dirt double $50,000 bonus if he can win the race tomorrow afternoon. He'll pick up 50 grand. Not a bad way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Of course, our friends at MAV TV will have that one, and of course you can watch that one live right here on Flow Racing as well. Sean Hingarani making another trip down pit road. You saw the lights go out on the pace car. We do get the 1-to-go signal coming out of turn 8. So we will double them up down the backstretch and come to green as we complete lap number 8. Jake Drew alongside Todd Souza on the front row. Bill McAnally Racing teammates Landon Lewis, Cole Moore back in row 2. Joey East, Tanner Reif back in row 3. Ryan Philpott and Takuma Koga back in row 4. Remember Takuma last year here. Almost got airborne down in the chicane on one of those restarts. Still fought his way back to a top 5 finish. Takuma can make it back-to-back top 10 or top 5 finishes here in the summertime race at Portland as we make our way down that long front straightaway. There's the green flag from Joe Contreras. We're back underway, and we're going to blast right past that chicane and race our way down to turn 4. Landon Lewis with the big push on Jake Drew. It looked like Jake got a little sideways there coming into the braking zone. He's going to hit the curb. Todd Souza didn't want to give him any ground, but Jake Drew going to take that top spot. Cole Moore fighting side by side with Landon Lewis. That's the battle for third. Hard on the brakes into turn 7. This will set you up for that long back straightaway. Still have to make it through turn 8 here. Joey East looking pretty racy in that number 54 car. Great camera work here, right up close and personal with those race cars as we're getting down into some of these braking zones. But right here, hard on the hammer off at turn 12. Look at that lead. Jake Drew is already stretched out over Todd Souza. As we come down into the braking zone into turn 1, and here comes Cole Moore trying to sneak to the inside of Todd Souza. Souza wasn't having any of that. Hard to believe Cole Moore still looking for that first career ARCA Menards Series West victory. He's been so close a couple of times this season. Trying to work his way past Todd Souza to take over that second position. Got a bit of a gap there on Landon Lewis. Landon dropping a couple of car lengths there through the twisty section. Philpott in the 52 car. He's holding off Takuma Koga. As here comes Cole Moore trying to sneak down to the inside of Todd Souza one more time. Oh, so close right there. Souza doing a great job of holding back Cole Moore through turns 11 and 12. And now here comes Landon Lewis trying to dive bomb down into turn 1. Really difficult to outbrake one another down into those festival chicane corners, turns 1, 2, and 3. Souza still feeling a lot of heat from Cole Moore there in the 99 car. Souza keeping Cole Moore in his rearview mirror. This is where Moore trying to work down to the inside last time through, but he's not going to be able to make a move there. As now it looks like those 3 cars, Cole Moore, Landon Lewis, Joey East, might be just a tick quicker than Todd Souza at this point, as we see now Cole Moore really getting a good run down that front straightaway. He's going to take over that second position down into turn 1, and now here comes Landon Lewis trying to follow his teammate through. I was just starting to say, it looks like Todd might be holding that train up just a little bit. Let's see if Cole can now work his way and try to track down Jake Drew up at the front of the field. Jake's opened up a 2.5 second advantage over this battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth. See if we can take a look at the replay of that pass. Oh, Cole Moore almost overcooking it down there into turn 7. You can hear those General tires squealing as he overcooked it down into turn 7 right there. Landon Lewis now trying to work his way past. Let's take one more look at that pass for second. Here comes Cole Moore. We talked about how hard it is to outbrake somebody, but Cole Moore gives us a textbook lesson on how to outbrake your competition down into turn 1. That, folks, could be a Reese's Sweet Move of the Race candidate right there, too. like Souza's car might not be handling exactly the way he wants it to at this point. Kind of sliding around a little bit. The unfortunate part, folks, if you burn those tires off the race car too early, not going to get another shot at putting some fresh ones on there. You got 4 tires in the pits. Those tires are for emergency use only, which means they're going to have to be flat before the ARCA Menards Series officials let you change them. So we'll race to that lap 28 midway break. I know Todd Souza is going to be begging crew chief Michael Munoz to make some adjustments on that car because it is definitely not handling the way he wants it to at this point. Ooh, you saw him get a little loose right there going into turn 1, so that's going to allow Landon Lewis to pull alongside. And now Lewis has the preferred lane down into turn 4. Oh, Souza did a nice job of out-dragging him. But here comes Lewis again with the inside lane. Close racing right there. Talk about opposite ends of the experience spectrum right here. I don't want to give away Todd's age, but he's part of my generation. A little bit older than Landon Lewis. Landon just 16 years of age. Already a winner here in the ARCA Menards Series West. Picked up the checkered flag at Kern County Raceway Park earlier in the season. Got the call a couple of months ago to slide in to the famous number 16, the Napa Auto Parts Chevy, for longtime team owner Bill McAnally. Because we're talking about that race at the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds coming up tomorrow afternoon. Landon Lewis won that race last year at just 15 years of age. Protege of NASCAR Hall of Famer Ron Hornaday Jr. We saw Hornaday in that number 16 Napa Chevy for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated back in the early days of the what was and will again be the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It's a good look at Jake Drew, Cole Moore, and there's that battle for third. Todd Souza. He has it. Landon Lewis wants it. Got a little bit of a gap over Joey East back in the 5th position. You can hear those tires chirping on Cole Moore's car as he dives off into these corners. Just in front of this battle for third. $15 laps now in the books. More than a quarter of a way home here in the Portland 112. Lewis still working over that back bumper. He's a lot closer than he has been the last couple of laps. Let's see if he can get through. Turn 7, 8, and 9. Looks like Souza may have enough momentum to hold him off here. See if Landon can dive to the inside here into turn 10. Nope, not enough room right there. Ooh, both of those cars kicking up some dust. Oh, Souza's way loose coming through turn 12. Great save by Todd Souza, but that's going to kill his momentum. And all that work to keep Landon Lewis behind him out the window. Landon Lewis going to slide on by to take over that third spot. talked about it earlier. You really need to hit turn 12 just right to keep that momentum up down that long front straightaway. And Souza got all kinds of sideways at just the absolute worst part of the racetrack right there, and that's going to allow Lewis to slide on by. He's going to have a little bit of work to do if he's going to catch up to his teammate. Cole Moore's got about 4 seconds on this group right here. Cole staying within a couple of seconds of Jake Drew. I don't know if Jake really using everything that car has right now up at the front of the field. We see our new third place driver, Landon Lewis, sliding off into turns 10, 11, and 12. Let's take a look one more time at what happened there. Keep an eye on that 13 car as he comes through turn 12 right here. That car is going to jump sideways. He got that left rear up on the rumble strip, and that just killed his momentum. And here comes Landon Lewis down to the inside. Boy, Landon had to feel like it was Christmas morning, because that was a gift given to him right there by Todd Souza. Not that Todd did that intentionally, of course, but you spend all that time working hard to get by someone, and they make a very minor error right there, and kind of opens the door for you. And there's a good look there at Todd Souza as he holds on to that 4th position. That's the gap right there. We were waiting. Joey East in 5th. Waiting and waiting and waiting. They've got a pretty sizable gap over Tanner Reif back there in 6th. There's Joey getting a little loose right there as he worked his way through turn 11. And there's what it looks like back up at the front of the field. Jake Drew in the number 6 car. Working his way through turns 1, 2, and 3. Cole Moore lurking ever so close. He can see him. He's within visual distance. About 1.8 seconds behind. It's been about 1.8 seconds behind the last few laps around. How's that for a Midwestern slang term right there? Couple few. There's the gap over Landon Lewis in 3rd, and Landon has really opened up the distance on Todd Souza in 4th, and I think Todd's about to feel some heat now from Joey East back there in 5th. Their way through turns. Oh, Todd Souza off the racetrack. He was feeling that heat all right. He's going to slide off the racetrack going into turn 11, and that's going to open the door for Joey East. Move Joey East up into 4th. Todd Souza back to 5th. Those two actually 4th and 5th in the current championship point standings as well. Todd's sitting in that 4th position. Ooh, Joey getting a little sideways there. Let's take a look one more time. There's turn 10 coming into turn 11, and ooh, he just drifted off the racetrack just ever so slightly. Once you get those tires off into the dirt, you just lose all grip. Joey just kept the car pointed in the straight line and said, "Thank you very much. Take that 4th position from you." Todd's got a pretty healthy advantage over Joey in the points right now. 20 points in hand in that battle for the 4th position in the standings. And we've talked about it a couple of times over the course of the season. Been a very trying start to the year for Joey East. Had a pretty solid initial run at Phoenix International Raceway, or Phoenix Raceway, to start the season. Finished 13th. Of course, that was a combination event with the ARCA Menards series. Finished 10th at Irwindale the next time out, and then 17th at Kern County. Followed it with another 10th place finish here at Portland. Just absolutely killed his chances for the championship here in 2022, as we see Todd Souza working his way through the festival chicane. Todd's had an up and down season too. He was 12th at Phoenix to start the season. Been in the top 10 every race since then, but been back in 9th at Irwindale, finished 10th at Irwindale, but he's had a couple of pretty solid top 5 runs, including 3rd right here at Portland, and 5th last time out up at Evergreen. So just depending on the week, Todd Souza has been a pretty solid contender, as we see Jake Drew working his way through some lap traffic. Davey Magris in the 14 car going a lap down. First time we've seen anybody catch the tail end of the field. There's Cole Moore trying to track Jake down up at the front of the field. Cole Moore has been just tantalizingly close to victory lane a couple of times this season, as he's going to lose some patience there with Davey Magris if he could work his way past there into turn 7. But a pair of second place finishes at Irwindale Speedway, and a very solid performance last time out at Evergreen before he came across the stripe in 4th. Ooh, there's an early end of the day for Sean Hingarani in the number 04 car, our Bounty rookie spotlight driver. Saw him off the racetrack and into the tire barrier there in turn 12, back at lap 7. He's going to park it down in the garage area just before the midway point here at Portland International. Jake Drew making it look effortless down into the festival chicanes. Sunrise Racing Team, as we have talked about, has had a very solid 2022 season, as we see the caution lights flash on for the second time here this afternoon. And there you see why. Some debris out on the racetrack, and that is right down into turn 1. Look out, Davey. Oh, that's Vince Little right there in the number 85 car. Big piece of debris down there going off into turn 1, and that will put us under caution for the second time here this afternoon. Road course racing has been a part of the West Series almost since the very beginning. 1958 was the first time the West Series ran on a road course. Actually, 1955, excuse me, back at Willow Springs. Chuck Stevenson picking up the victory. Parnelli Jones going to victory lane at Kitsap County Airport. Eddie Gray picked up a win at Riverside International, that one back in 1958. Have to check with series officials to see if this will be our midway break. We're awfully close. Lap 24. Always say at or around. That way we can kind of, you know, if we get that caution flag a couple of laps before, we can just take the break. I would assume that this will be our halfway break, but we'll wait for confirmation from ARCA Menards Series West officials. This is the 147th road course race in West Series history. We talked about Todd Souza picking up the win at Utah Motorsports Campus. That coming back in 2008. August 2nd, 2008. We also talked about the success that the Sunrise Racing team has had, and indeed, that is what this will be, the break. You see the cars coming down pit road. So this will be our 5-minute break. Sunrise team having a lot of success on road courses over the years, picking up wins with drivers like Jason Bowles and Greg Persley, Derek Thorne. We saw Blaine Perkins pick up a win at Utah back in 2020. And almost saw Jake Drew pick up the win here last year before finally getting the win here back in June. I see some cars, some teams that are going to work before the 5-minute clock has started. I believe we may see some penalties here as some of those teams go into work before well, just clarifying with ARCA Menards Series West officials, we will not have a break at halfway, so this will be the time that drivers will come on down pit road. That's why you saw them jump into action, because they didn't have a 5-minute clock to work on. So apologize for the mix-up there, but indeed, everybody coming on down pit road, adding some fuel, making some adjustments. And we will line them back up and race on to our 57-lap race distance. Lights still on the pace car. Why don't we go ahead and step away for a quick break while we're lining the field back up here for the second half of the Portland 112. Stick with us, folks. We'll be back with the second half. You're watching ARCA Menards Series West Racing live here on Flow Racing. Welcome back to Portland International Raceway. Charlie Crawl with all the action for you here as the lights go off on the pace car. Go back green flag racing next time we come back to start and finish. Jake Drew leading the way over Cole Moore. They will start side by side on the front row coming back to this restart. Landon Lewis, Joey East back in row 2. Todd Souza, Tanner Reif in row 3. Takuma Koga and Ryan Philpott back in row 4. Bridget Burgess and Vince Little back in row 5. So we've seen Cole Moore get a little sporty on these starts and restarts so far here this afternoon. Let's see if he can take it to Jake Drew down into turn 4. They'll have a chance to get it wound up down this long drag strip front straightaway here at Portland International Raceway. Joe Contreras with the green flag back in the air. Let's see what happens down into turn 4. Landon Lewis going to give Jake Drew a shove down the front straightaway. Going to fan out down into turn 4. Let's see what happens. Oh, Cole Moore going to get a little nudge there from Jake Drew. Cole Moore off the racetrack. Look at all that ground. Cole is going to give up. He tried to take it around the top side of the racetrack, and Jake got into that quarter panel just enough to push him off the racetrack, and Cole Moore going to drop to the tail end of the lead lap. That'll move Landon Lewis up into second. And it looks like Landon's got some damage to the nose of that car. Look at the hood bowed up on that number 16 automobile. Landon apparently made some contact in the stack up down there into turn 1. Let's see if we can take another look at that restart. And keep an eye on the 99 car. He almost had him clear down into turn 4, and Jake got into that right rear quarter panel just enough to move him up the racetrack and off into the dirt. Oh my goodness. And there's that damage on the 16 car, and that evidently came from the push Landon Lewis gave Jake Drew. And oh, Joey East off the pace in the 54 car. Joey East off the pace and off the racetrack. We've talked about the up and down season that he has had, and it is a down day for the 54 car here at Portland. There's Cole Moore trying to work his way back through the pack. He's going to work his way around the outside of Bridget Burgess in the 88 car. Now has to work his way past Takuma Koga in that Jerry Pitts owned number 7. Oh, Cole Moore off the racetrack one more time. Oh, and he's done some damage to that the left front suspension, it looks like. You see that left front wheel bouncing around. We're going to go back under the caution flag here, folks, and I believe it's for that man right there, Joey East, coming to a stop down in turn 4. That'll put us under the caution flag for the 4th time here today, but wow, we may have just seen an early end to Cole Moore's afternoon. Maybe we can take another look at what happened over there and keep an eye on that left front tire. Boy, a couple of pretty big goings on, I guess is what we will say here. I'm a little bit of a loss for words as to what's happening here, but we did see a couple of our major contenders take some pretty big hits here the last couple of minutes or so. I know it's kind of not the way that Joey East wanted to end his day, but I got to tell you, folks, that little pinwheel light right there, pretty strong. pretty strong. Let's take a look at that 54 car down into the festival chicane. And right here, he's just going to lose power right there. And my guess, either the rear gear or the drive shaft. That's what that looks like right there. Now we're going to keep an eye on that 99 car. And he just slides off the racetrack. Bounces through the grass a little bit. Now keep an eye on that left front tire. We didn't quite get a chance to see it right there, but that left front tire did not look right when Cole came back out onto the racetrack. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. See if he brings that car down pit road as we wait for Joey East to get a little shove from the safety workers here at Portland International. Yep, and just as I suspected, there you see it, folks. That left front wheel not supposed to be leaning in quite that much. Could be a broken A-arm on that left front wheel. Longtime ARCA West official Jake Jacobs making his way down to oversee those repairs. Mario Asola and the crew on the number 99 team. Yeah, that left front suspension definitely broken on that number 99 car. Let's take another look at that 99 car, and it looks like he that suspension may have broken before he slid off the racetrack. That might be the cause of what sent him off the racetrack, because that car just darted to the left, and you see that wheel already askew there. Take one more look at it. Look, maybe a little bit of smoke out of that car as he just slides right off the racetrack and into the dirt. Good camera work by our crew here at Portland International today. Appreciate your hard work, guys. Still working the fourth caution flag of the afternoon here at Portland International. The attrition taking its toll on some of the contenders here today. Joey East and Cole Moore coming up on the short end of the stick here the last couple of laps. There's the damage to the nose of that number 16 car for Landon Lewis. And while we circulate behind the pace car one more time, why don't we step away for another quick break. You're watching ARCA Menards Series West Racing live here on Flow Racing. Lights off on the pace car, so we'll go back racing this time around with 26 laps to go here in the Portland 112. Jake Drew, Landon Lewis up on the front row. How about that? Joey East back under power, so it wasn't the rear gear or the drive shaft. But whatever it was, going to put Joey a couple of laps off the pace with just 27 laps to go here at Portland. Todd Souza, Tanner Reif back in row 2. Takuma Koga and Bridget Burgess back in row 3. Ryan Philpott, Davey Magris back in row 4. Joe Contreras, or excuse me, Chuck Welch with the pace car. We're going to go to Joe Contreras, says green flag here, just a minute. We make our way down that long drag strip front straightaway here at Portland International. There's Joe Contreras waving that green flag. And we're on the charge down to turn 4. And here comes Todd Souza trying to sneak underneath Landon Lewis. Landon going to use the long way around down into turn 4 and 4A. Jake Drew doesn't want to give up any ground. Jake going to dive to the inside there in turn 5. Put the power down. He's going to use the long way around in turn 6. And now let's see what happens here through turn 7 and 8. Jake Drew going to dive down into turn 7 and get the power down for turn 8. And he's going to retake the lead. Boy, Landon Lewis fought the hard fight right there. All over the back bumper of that 6 car as they race their way down the back stretch and into turn 10. Todd Souza now feeling some heat from Tanner Reif in the 9 car. First time we've seen Tanner up into the top 5 here this afternoon. Field diving off into turn 1. Now turn 2 and then 3. There's a good look at that Central Coast cabinets, number 13 for Todd Souza. Souza hanging those left side tires off in the dirt there, coming off of turn 3. Look at Tanner Reif dirt tracking it down into turn 4. How about this battle right there, folks, between Takuma Koga in the 7 and Bridget Burgess in the 88. Bridget Burgess looking for her first ever top 5 finish here in the ARCA Menards Series West. Knocking on the door right now. This is the battle for 5th. Still a long way to go here at Portland International, just past the halfway point. Both Takuma Koga and Bridget Burgess having a very solid run, as is Ryan Philpott there in the 52 car. First time we've seen Ryan on screen today. All 3 of these drivers having impressive performances here at the midway point. Ryan Philpott in that number 52 car. Understand a lot of good things happening there with the Burgess Racing team, that number 88. For some exciting news out of that organization here in the coming weeks. The HMH Constructor Chevrolet. Bridget Burgess trying to work her way past Takuma Koga. These two part of the international flavor here in the ARCA Menards Series West. Of course, Takuma from Nagoya, Japan, and he's going to give up that 5th position to Melbourne, Australia's Bridget Burgess. Takuma going to fight back down to the inside. We see Landon Lewis, the 16 car, off the pace. Landon Lewis with some problems. Could be related to that damage we see on the nose right there. But that car definitely off pace. He's going to give up that spot to Not only Tanner Reif, but there's Bridget Burgess, Takuma Koga now going to blast on past. Ryan Philpott going by. And Landon Lewis bringing that number 16 car down onto pit road. Landon going to bring it down to Charlie Wilson and the team. There's the battle now. Ooh, Bridget Burgess sawing on that steering wheel. He's got the 4th position. There's now the battle for 5th. Takuma Koga, Ryan Philpott. Let's see what happened to the 16 car. He slides it off the racetrack. Slides it again. May have broken something underneath. Yeah, looks like something broken underneath the right front corner. Definitely not the way Landon Lewis wanted to end his day here at Portland International. Went from battling with that man, battling with Jake Drew for the win, down onto pit road. And now we see this, the battle for 2nd. Todd Souza now up to 2nd. Tanner Reif into 3rd. Todd Souza holding on to that 2nd position. Tanner Reif hanging right there with him. Bridget Burgess holding on to 4th, and now the battle for 5th between Takuma Koga and Ryan Philpott. Saw Takuma with his family with him up at Evergreen Speedway last time out. Making the long trip from Nagoya, Japan to come race with us here. His base of operations in Southern California. He's Todd Souza now stretching it out a little bit over Tanner Reif there in 3rd. Battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Working lap 37 of 57, so 20 laps remaining here at Portland International Raceway. A couple of drivers having career best performances. Bridget Burgess in that 88 car. Ryan Philpott in that 54 car, or 52 car, excuse me. Bridget working her way down into turn number 1. There's that battle for 5th right there. Takuma using up all the racetrack, getting down into turn 1. Ryan Philpott sliding that car through turn 2. Oh, Vince Little sideways off of turn 12. Like he may have hung the tires off in the dirt, got turned sideways. We get him turned around and back underway without bringing out another caution flag here. And indeed, caution light is going to come on for the 4th time this afternoon. Vince Little have some problems there in turn 12. Will put us under the caution flag for the 4th time here today. We can take a look at what happened over there coming off of turn 12. Oh, looks like he may have just cooked it in a touch too hard and tried to woe it down. With all those brakes locked up. Just turned her around sideways. Couldn't quite get her refired in time to keep us back under the green. So that'll put us under the caution flag for the 4th time and set up about a 15-lap dash to the finish. And you know, we have seen a lot of action on these starts and restarts, and anything can happen. I don't know that we've seen the last of the excitement on these restarts. Tanner Reif in that 9 car. Starting to look a little racy. See if he has anything for his teammate here once we go back green flag racing. He's going to have to deal with that grizzled old veteran Todd Souza on this restart as well. That beautiful backdrop here is the safety crew on scene to retrieve Vince Little. Absolutely picture perfect day here in Portland, Oregon. Appreciate everybody coming out, checking us out here at the racetrack, and appreciate everybody watching at home here live on Flow. Talk about those picture perfect days. This is the prototype. Hey, Sean Hingarani back out on the racetrack in the 04 car. Good to have Sean back out on the racetrack making some laps. Give Vince Little a shove there off of turn 12, get him back pointed in the right direction. Get everybody lined up to go back green flag racing. While we are waiting for Vince to get refired and rejoin the tail of the lead lap, we will step away for a quick break. You're watching the Portland 112 live here at Portland International Raceway, right here on Flow Racing. drivers making a trip down pit road here as we get ready to go back racing in the Portland 112. Bridget Burgess giving up that 4th position to come add a little fuel. A couple adjustments on that number 88 Chevy in the dash to the finish. There's Bridget's mom, Sarah, serving as team owner and crew chief down there on pit road. Bridget will give up that 4th position and drop to the tail end of the lead lap here for the restart. Drop her to the 7th position for the restart. Smoke trailing out of the 88 car. Oh boy, that is a tough break for Bridget Burgess. If she is oiling down the racetrack or not, but she is going to pull off to the side of the raceway and off the asphalt. Oh boy, that is a tough break for the young lady who was looking for her first career top 5, was sitting in the 4th position, and now she is off the racetrack, smoke pouring out from under the hood. And that could be the end of the day for Bridget Burgess here as well. Window net going to come down. And a very disappointed Bridget Burgess inside that number 88 gear wrench Chevrolet. And that will keep us under the caution flag. Oh boy. Portland International safety crew on site. Pop underneath the hood, make sure there's no flame underneath. Go along with all that smoke. We're going to put the window net back up and maybe push her back around to pit road. Field continuing to circulate behind the pace car. That'll move Takuma Koga up into the 3rd position. Ryan Philpott up into 4th. Takuma's best finish back in 2017 at Orange Show Speedway. 4th place is in 4th position right now. Jake Drew, your leader. Todd Souza 2nd. Tanner Reif in 3rd. Then we've got Takuma Koga in 4th. Ryan Philpott in 5th. We're going to get one of the safety trucks on site there to give Bridget Burgess a push back onto pit road. We continue to circulate behind Chuck Welch in the pace car. Why don't we go ahead and step away for another break while we've got the time? Under caution flag here, we'll step away, we'll come back and race you to the finish. You're watching the Portland 112. The ARCA Menards Series West here at Portland International Raceway, live right here on Flow Racing. Still circulating behind the pace car here in the Portland 112. Fourth caution flag of the day, an extended caution flag. It seems like every time we've been ready to go back green flag racing, we've got another car that has been stricken with problems. And right now, that's the car that we were trying to get back down onto pit road, Bridget Burgess in the number 88. Having some engine difficulties out on course. Her back onto pit road and hopefully go back racing for the final 15 laps here at Portland. Lights off on the pace car. We will get back to racing next time around. Jake Drew, Todd Souza line up on the front row. Tanner Reif, Takuma Koga in row number 2. Ryan Philpott and Cole Moore back in row 3. How about Cole Moore? According to my scoring, back on the lead lap with one of the faster race cars left on the racetrack. We'll have to keep an eye on that driver outside row number 3 as we come back to green flag racing here with 15 laps to go. And again, I don't think we have seen the last of the excitement on these restarts. Chuck Welch brings the pace car back down onto pit road. Joe Contreras keeping them under control until now. Green flag back out. And we are thundering down into turn 4. Gonna blow right past turns 1, 2, and 3. And on the charge down into turn 4. And look at Todd Souza working his way around the outside into turn 4. Can he slam the door shut on Jake Drew through turns 4A and turn 5? Jake Drew gonna use that preferred lane through turn 5, but here comes Souza fighting back through turn 6. See what happens here into 7. Give the lead back to Todd Souza. Now here comes Jake Drew. He's going to go the long way around turn 8, but now he's got the preferred line into turn 9. Now can Souza hold that preferred line down into turn 10? No, Jake Drew going to drive it in deep. He's going to retake the lead. And here comes Cole Moore. We just mentioned him. He restarted 6th. He's back up to 3rd. Ooh, Moore with a little nudge on Todd Souza there off of turn 12. They're going to battle side by side down into turn 1 for that 2nd position. Moore down to the inside. He's going to retake 2nd. Good battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the racetrack. Todd Souza has come back to life in that number 13 car. Ooh, almost got into the back bumper there of the 99 coming off into turn 7. Now can Cole Moore track down Jake Drew up at the front of the field? That is the question. Jake had a 1 second advantage last time they came across the start-finish line. Now we see a gaggle of cars right here. Only a couple of those cars battling for position. Takuma Koga in the 7, Ryan Philpott in the 52. Those two cars battling for position. Every other car there on its own lap. Landon Lewis, Joey East, Sean Hingorani, all on laps of their own. And look at that, Ryan Philpott taking over that position. Ryan Philpott up to 4th in that number 52. Hingorani in the 04 car spent many laps back behind the wall. The car's still looking pretty strong. He's able to hang right there with Takuma Koga in that number 7. Now we see the battle for 3rd. Todd Souza in 3rd, Tanner Reif in 4th. Tanner coming off that big win. Saw a car dart down onto pit road right there. Cole Moore in the 99, giving up that 2nd position. Oh my goodness. It has not been Cole Moore's day. Has raced his way up into the 2nd position a couple of different times. And it looks like he may have just had to make a pass-through penalty right there. We will double check with ARCA Menards Series West officials, but I believe that pass-through penalty may have been a restart infraction. So that'll take Cole Moore out of that 2nd position. That'll move Todd Souza one more time back into 2nd. Again, this looks like a battle out on the racetrack, not actually a battle for position. Joey East racing to the inside of Ryan Philpott. Joey a couple of laps off the pace. Back in the 9th position. A good look at the Hacienda Pools, number 52. Ryan Philpott having a career day here at Portland International. Sitting in that 4th position. Ryan's best finish coming back in 2011. A 7th place finish at Irwindale Speedway in suburban Los Angeles. Looking to better that by a couple of spots, if not more, here at Portland International Raceway. There's Todd Souza and Tanner Reif, 2nd and 3rd. Talked about Todd a couple of times today. This is his 105th career series start. It has been 95 races since he went to Victory Lane back in August 2008 at Utah Motorsports Campus. Finished 5th last time out up at Evergreen Speedway. He is looking for a way to catch Jake Drew as we're inside 10 laps to go. Now 9 laps to go. That time past start finish. The Sands quickly slipping through the hourglass here at Portland International Raceway. We do understand it was a restart violation for Cole Moore that brought him for a pass-through penalty down onto pit road. Cole, of course, was sitting in that second position, now has dropped all the way back to 6th. And now he has just 8 laps remaining to work his way back up into that top 5 one more time. Done a couple of times already today. May need the help of the caution flag to work his way back into the top 5 a third time. Let's see if we can take a look at why Cole Moore may have, looks like he may have swung to the outside on that restart. ARCA Menards Series officials like to tell you to stay in line, and I believe they may have judged that Cole may have changed lanes on that restart. Jake Drew coming through turns 11 and 12. 7 laps to go this time around for the driver of that number 6 car. Longtime team owners, Bob and Maureen Brancati, owners of the Sunrise Racing team. Two-time ARCA Menards Series West champion, Bill Sedgwick, overseeing the Sunrise Racing team. Saw Bill part of that pre-race ceremony up at Evergreen for the 1000th race last time out. And you know, Landon Lewis in that 16 car has got to be feeling a little bit of frustration. That car running awfully well, but unfortunately 3 laps down at this point. So this is not a battle for position. Been battling with Todd Souza and Tanner Reif all day long. Just unfortunate now he's doing it 3 laps behind that battle for 2nd and 3rd. Love that camera angle down there into turn 1. It feels like you could almost jump into the cockpit with the drivers as they come from well over 150 miles an hour back down to about 30 miles an hour to make that first corner. Landon Lewis trying to work his way past Tanner Reif. You know, and again, not for position, but you always kind of want to get in the head of that competitor. You want to let them know, hey, even though I'm not on the same lap as you, faster than you are, and I can pass you. And that's exactly what Landon Lewis is going to do right there. Understand that may have been a transmission issue on the number 16 as we see Vince Littleoff for the racetrack one more time in that number 85 car. Didn't see able to keep it under power this time, and we're going to stay green 5 laps to go here at Portland. Getting down to crunch time, and there's the advantage Jake Drew has over Todd Souza. Let's take a look at what happened to Vince Little there as he worked his way down off the racetrack, and he's going to go for a quick 360. How about that? Yeah, that's how you do it. Now, that's not what you want to do, Vince. Keep her on the racetrack there, buddy. Vince Little having all kinds of problems navigating turns 11 and 12 right there, but he's going to keep it on the racetrack, pointed in the right direction. We're going to stay green. Jump back up to the front of the field. Jake Drew working off of turn 12, coming to the 4 to go signal this time around. Saturday night helmet dash yet to go here at Portland International. Jake Drew working his way through turns 1, 2, and 3. And that was right there, that section of the racetrack. The chicane, what caught him out here last year on the final restart, got a little shove going down into that corner on a restart, missed the corner and got penalized. And although he came across to take the checkered flag first, Taylor Gray was scored as the winner. He had to wait an entire year to get back here. Jake picked up his first career win back in June. He followed it up with wins at Sonoma, another one at Irwindale, and looking for his 4th win in 8 starts, 3 more times around. All he's got to do is keep that car pointed in the right direction. He will celebrate his 2nd victory of the season here at Portland. Anybody who spends time with Jake Drew knows this kid is always smiling, always in a good mood, always has a positive frame of mind. You know, he lost the ARCA Menards Series West Championship last year on the final lap of the race at Phoenix. His teammate at the time, Trevor Huddleston, thought he took the checkered flag and rolled out of the gas. And that allowed Jesse Love to pass him on the final lap of the race. And that one position put Jesse in a tie with Jake. Jake lost the tiebreaker on wins. And as disappointed as he was, he had a smile on his face after that race and said, we're going to come back and get him next year. And that's exactly what he's doing. He has come back with a vengeance here in 2022 as we come to 2 to go this time around. And again, this not a battle for position as Landon Lewis starts to work Todd Souza over. Jake Drew doing exactly what he said he was going to do here in 2022. The only driver to finish in the top 5 in every race so far here in the ARCA Menards Series West in 22. Only driver to finish in the top 10 in every race. 43 points in hand coming into this one. He is going to have a 50-point plus advantage going into the next race coming up. In a couple of weeks. Next race for the ARCA Menards Series West Series coming up at All-American Speedway on Saturday, October 10th. coming through turn 12. You see the sunlight starting to fade here at Portland International Raceway. And Jake Drew for the final time coming down the front straightaway. White flag up one more time around for Jake Drew. That's the advantage he has over Todd Souza in second. Not that he's gonna do it, but he can put it in cruise control from here on out. All he's got to do is make it around one more time. Three more races left in the West schedule this year. All-American Speedway coming up on the 1st of October. The Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway coming up on October 14th, and the season finale at Phoenix on November 5th. And Jake Drew going to have a 50-point plus advantage going into those final three races. Coming into turn 10 for the final time. Davey Magris in the 14 car. A lap down. Turn 11 and turn 12. Jake Drew coming off of turn 12. He's going to bring it down to the inside pit wall, celebrating his 4th win of the season. Jake Drew going to victory lane here at Portland. Todd Souza coming across the start-finish line with a great second-place finish. Tanner Reif will come home in 3rd. And despite that late race penalty, Cole Moore races way back up into the 4th position, and Takuma Koga coming home in 5th. So it has been a dominant season for Jake Drew. His 4th win of 2022, the 6th win for that Sunrise Racing team. And after tying Jesse Love atop the championship standings last year, Jake Drew taking no prisoners here in 2022. By my calculations, Jake Drew will have a 51-point lead going into the next race at All-American Speedway on October 1st. And look at him celebrating it down here at the start-finish line. Jake Drew picking up his 4th win of 2022. It has been an action-packed day here at Portland International Raceway, and it all leads up to this. Jake Drew celebrating with that checkered flag here at the start-finish line. And it has been an action-packed day. Lots of tight racing. There we see Sean Hingorani sliding off the racetrack down in turn 12. Look at that side-by-side battle for position. There's Jake Drew taking the lead. Cole Moore sliding off the racetrack. Vince Little going for a wild ride. More close racing between Todd Souza and Jake Drew. But Jake Drew getting it done here at Portland. Appreciate you watching, folks. My name is Charlie Crawl. We'll see you next time from All-American on October 1st.